Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Overruled podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Blahnik, joined alongside co hosts Ben Vogel and Kaelyb Grover. Today is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021, the night before the start of the 2021 Major League Baseball season. This is our baseball prediction show. Very enthusiastic, as you can tell.
What would you like us to say, Trevor?
I don't know.
If you had something in mind, I would appreciate you letting me know.
Junior jersey. This is what we call foreshadowing. For those of you wondering.
Let's see.
All right, so what do you want to start with?
All right, so we have our own predictions, and we also have the predictions of one of our friends that wasn't able to make it onto the show tonight. So I think maybe we should start with Blake, and then we can each give our own predictions, and then because we can go in depth with those.
Okay.
So who wants to read off Blake?
I got it. So Blake very boldly predicted that he predicted division winners and the World Series matchup in champ. He has the Yankees winning the AL East, Astros winning the West, White Sox in the Central, and then in the NL he has the Mets winning the East, the Cardinals winning the Central, and the Dodgers winning the West, and he has the White Sox beating the Dodgers in the World Series. Pretty chalky.
Oh, Blake.
Which is about what you'd expect from someone that goes to Gonzaga.
Mickey Mouse School.
Gonzaga stays catching strays, even though they advanced to their first official Final Four. What does this count since it's a Mickey Mouse year?
We haven't decided yet. It's going to depend on how they do in the Final Four.
Okay. So we don't know if Gonzaga has advanced to their first Final Four. Of course, 2017 didn't count. Why did 2017 not count? What was the reasoning behind that?
Because they made it to the national championship, not the Final Four.
That is the dumbest. That's the first time I've heard the reasoning as to why they haven't made a Final Four. That is fantastic. Shout out UCLA. I don't like them, but they beat Michigan, so it's okay.
Or as I like to call them, Juicy Dalton.
No, Juicy Dalton, average score of my essay.
Oh, well, that was stupid. Juicy Dalton. And the L is for Dalton because Dalton's a Michigan fan. So we handed them an L.
Oh, I should have sent one of the pictures I have of me handing L's out. That's unfortunate. That's a missed opportunity. All right, who wants to go first?
I think we should jump in with awards.
Okay.
So we'll start with the least important one, which would be Manager of the Year.
Bud Black.
Language. Can I do a thumbs down on here? No, I can't. Wait. I can't. Flip. Okay, I'll say mine. I have Jace Tingler winning. Wait. Trevor?
Yeah?
Okay, your mouth was moving, but you didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah, I was speaking to myself, yeah.
Okay. I have Jace Tingler winning in the National League because I believe the Padres are going to have the best record in all of Major League Baseball this year. And in the American League, there's no point in making a bold prediction if you're not going to actually predict it. So my boldest prediction of the year is that the Kansas City Royals are going to make the playoffs.
Interesting.
So I've got the Royals making the playoffs and Mike Matheny winning American League Manager of the Year.
They've got a decent little core, and the AL Central is extremely weak. That's not bad. Speaking of cores in the Royals, let's go to our resident Red Sox fans for some Royals analysis.
Well, we've been gutted over the last, 5 years?
You won the World Series 3 years ago.
We lost the greatest outfield of all time, of
No.
JBJ, Mookie Betts, and Andrew Benintendi.
That's not even-
So,
Greatest outfield of all time.
coming from a non-biased perspective, absolutely the greatest outfield of all time.
How quickly people forget that Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig played together.
Ben, I'm memeing you right now. I'm not. Fine, the most entertaining outfield of all time.
No.
Are you saying that because of I'm not going there? Ben can.
But we got it. I'm not expecting much. I'm really excited about kind of how we're going to go with the draft this year, being that we have the 4th overall pick. Ben disappointed me the other day because I thought we had the 3rd.
Yeah. That
Thought we had
tweet.
a shot at Leiter, but now that we don't,
Nope.
You got a better shot at Kumar than Leiter.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just waiting to see how the first couple of weeks go of the season, and then I'm just gonna go from there. Alex Cora, I mean, he made some decent moves. We got Kike in the offseason, which I'm very excited about. Overall, I haven't been the greatest fan this offseason, I'm not gonna lie, but last season was just so disappointing. So I'm just kind of living it one pitch at a time.
Alrighty. That was more depressing than I thought it was going to be. So let's move it over to Ben for the rest of his predictions. Or I guess the.
Oh, I thought we were going to. I thought everyone was.
No, yeah, never mind. Yeah. Kaelyb, do you have AL and LMV or Manager of the Year?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go with Ben, and I'm gonna have to go with Tingler for the National League, just because I really like the signing of Blake Snell. I think they kind of lacked like.
Managers have nothing to do with signings, Kaelyb.
Nor did they sign him.
I like the Padres definitely got Blake Snell.
That is true. I will
They
give you
traded for him. Sorry.
Nothing to do with Chase Tingler, but
that's Executive of the Year.
But
general man.
I kind of like what they have going. I think they finally found like their dude, like not necessarily like a guy that's going to consistently go up there and get him a win every time he's on the mound, but he's kind of like their win day guy, kind of what they called Glass now with the Rays last year. And I'm not really sure where I want to go with the American League either. Every bone in my body wants to say Alex Cora because I'm a Red Sox fan. I just know it's not going to be it.
Nope.
So, just for the meme, I'm going to go Kevin Cash after his absolutely terrible decision of pulling Snell last year.
The polling of Snell wasn't the bad part. It was bringing in Anderson.
I mean, pulling a dude that gave up his second hit in the 6th inning of a must-win game, I feel like that was I see the analytic piece of it, but I also just don't agree with it. So
the problem was that you brought in a guy who's given up a run in like 8 straight appearances.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody could hit him. And then you had Mookie Betts coming up with a runner on, and then he hit the double down the line that scored. And then the train just came off the tracks from there. So it just was an atrocious bullpen move, and he looked like an absolute clown. So
Can't argue too much about that one. All right, suppose that leaves me. I'll go. I'll be completely clean about this. Like I told Ben earlier in the day, I'm coming into this and basically going with my gut decision on the fly about what I think for all of these. I did not prepare. I'm just kind of going off of what I already know from playing hundreds and hundreds of hours of MLB The Show, and I know rosters have changed, but for the American League side of things, I'm going with the White Sox, Tony La Russa. Hopefully he doesn't get too much money so he can't buy any more alcohol.
Good.
And I guess if we're going bold predictions, I suppose it's not necessarily that bold of a prediction, but I'll go with my man Luis Rojas from the National League. I think if the Mets turn it around, which I do expect them to, Ben's having some fun. But I think Rojas gets the nod if the Mets flip it around. And I understand that he didn't have much to do at all Kaelyb, with getting Lindor and Carrasco. But it definitely helps his case.
Whatever.
Yeah, he didn't sign Lindor.
Definitely helps his case in terms of, being able to use the greatest shortstop in the MLB right now. So.
Oh, what? It's not Trevor Story?
It's so close, but I do think Lindor is a little better.
Actually, neither one of them. It's Tatis, but go on.
Not yet.
No.
By the end of this year, it'll be Tatis, but not at this exact moment.
I still don't agree with this contract, but
Tatis's?
yeah, I don't like the length on it. Ben and I kind of got into a little dispute about it earlier this year.
How long is it again?
10 years.
14.
Not bad.
14, even worse. Even worse.
10 years would take him to 33. He's at the end of his prime at that point.
31, I think.
He's basically an MLB version of Scottie Pippen, signing his whole career away to one team.
Yes, except he actually got paid for it, unlike Scotty. Tatis is plenty good. He's the face of the Padres. He's the face of baseball. He's literally the face of baseball. He's on MLB The Show this year. That contract is a smart move. And speaking of contracts, what was the figure that Frank said? Because as we're recording this, we just found out the terms of the offer for Francisco Lindor to resign with the New York Mets.
Mets offered 10 years, $325, and Lindor wants 10 years, 12 years, $385.
Yeah, and 12 years for Lindor, and Lindor is
26.
Yeah, I mean he's older than Tatis by a considerable margin. It's if you're the Mets, that's not a bad move. Take him till the end of his career, and especially because you think they'd front load that, right? Or were they back?
I remember the last 38-year-old they took on a contract of. Do you remember that, Trevor?
Is it Bobby Bonilla?
No, Robinson Cano.
He had a great season last year.
He was on roids and got suspended for this whole season.
He still had a great year regardless of what was in his body.
Stay off the peas.
Oh boy. All right. Oh my gosh. That was
Does that bring us to my favorite award, Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, this is obviously his favorite here. Let's see what he's got.
Okay, so the American League is so incredibly compelling to me. See if I can find it. There we go. Okay, so I think the American League Rookie of the Year award, we're looking at one of the most stacked rookie classes for a single league ever. There are so many different guys that could win this award. You have the odds-on favorite, Randy Arozarena. And then, of course, you got Andrew Vaughn with the White Sox, who just got announced earlier today will be their starting left fielder on opening day. We got Jared Kelenic with Mariners. Bobby Witt Jr.
I like him.
Killed it in spring training. And he hasn't played a game above A ball, so nobody knows when he's going to be up, but he's in the conversation. You got Alex Kirilloff with the Twins, made his debut in the postseason last year. Ryan Mountcastle with the Orioles. People are expecting a lot out of him. And going back to the White Sox, you've got Nick Madrigal. Everyone loves Nick Madrigal. He's overrated, but everybody loves Nick Madrigal. Garrett Crochet, who's going to be pumping 100 out of the pen from the left side. Michael Kopech, who's going to be pumping 100 out of the pen from the right side. Nate Pearson, who wouldn't surprise me, is Toronto's number 2 starter by the end of the year. Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, and Matt Manning. 3 starting pitchers for the Tigers that could all win this award. You've got Wander Franco, the number 1 prospect in baseball. You've got Luis Patino, who will probably be in the Rays rotation at some point. You've got Daniel Lynch. I'm sorry, I had to say it. What's his name? And Jackson Cower with the Royals. Those are two really good pitchers. Logan Gilbert with the Mariners. He's going to be up at some point. Brandon Marsh will probably get up with the Angels. He could win the award. There's so many different guys here.
Missing someone from
I
Baltimore.
didn't even mention Adley Rutschman. I don't know when he's going to be up, but he's another one. There's and Sharon Duran with the Red Sox. That dude's going to be a stud. There are some parallels between him and Mookie. He's not going to be Mookie, but there's some parallels between the two of them. But anyways, there's so many options. I think ultimately it'll be either Andrew Vaughn or Jared Kelenic. Those are the two for me. If Witt gets up soon enough, Bobby Witt, I think he could be in the conversation, but I think it's going to come down to Vaughn and Kelenic. I'm going to pick Vaughn just because I know he's starting on the opening day roster, and I don't know how long it's going to take for Kelenic to get up. So Andrew Vaughn is my pick.
My thing with Vaughn
in the
is
American League.
We didn't see Vaughn at all last year, so it's going to be interesting to see kind of how he translates up, especially as he kind of moves. But I've been listening to a lot of stuff on him, and they're saying he's one of the highest. He has one of the highest ceilings out of all the rookies.
That's correct. He is the top first base prospect in all of baseball, and he's now playing left field because Eloy Jimenez is a dumbass.
What are your thoughts on Ha-Seong Kim, or however you pronounce it, going to the Padres?
Ha-Seong Kim in the NL. Oh, well, I didn't get to the NL. The thing about Kim is that I don't think he's going to play every day. I think he's going to be in some sort of platoon with Jake Cronenworth. I think the Padres are one of those teams that's really going to be very flexible with their lineup. So I don't see Kim winning the award. I think in the NL, it's I don't know. The NL class isn't as strong. There's Sixto Sanchez and Ian Anderson, two pitchers that could win the award, but it's not usually a pitcher's award. I think Brian Hayes is the favorite to win it. It'll probably end up being him or Dylan Carlson. Hayes is going to be my pick, but yeah, I think it'll probably be one of those four guys I just said.
Oh, he's 24, Hayes.
Yeah, he tore it up in September last year. So, anyways, that's my pick. Andrew Vaughn and Brian Hayes for Rookies of the Year.
I'm a little more underprepared for this, so I don't know if I can necessarily give my direct opinion, just because I don't want to make myself sound more foolish than I already have so far. So I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to withdraw from this one. But I am really excited about a prospect Ben and I talked about with the Indians, Tristan McKenzie. I'm excited to see what he does this year.
You a rookie? I don't know if he's a rookie or not. You might be able to pick him.
I'm really excited about him, but just based off what I have, I'll just go with my guy Michael Kopech, because my boy Ben got me his autograph. Actually, Ben was so kind. He actually
Chris McKendry is a prospect, so you can pick him if you want, Kaelyb.
Actually, got me the autograph right here. So I'll go with Michael Kopech.
Fair enough.
And
All right.
with Kim in the NL?
Huh?
Are you going with Kim in the NL?
Yeah, why not?
It seems a little too easy to be Randy Arozarena. It seems a little too easy. He's clearly the odds-on favorite after his postseason, but Ben and I were talking about this. I think it might have been yesterday. It's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the league reacts to him. Are the pitchers going to adjust before he adjusts? Because if he adjusts to what he failed at in the playoffs, which wasn't a lot, he might become an MVP candidate, much less Rookie of the Year. Or I guess much more, whatever. I don't know. Something English. But if the pitchers adjust and start throwing him things that he didn't see in the postseason, and he's unable to make the adjustment quick enough, then it opens the door for some of the other prospects in the American League. Like Ben said, it's completely packed. Like there's so many different players. As a Mets fan, Kaelyb leaving, I say it doesn't hurt that much, and it might not end up in the long haul, but he's clearly one of the front runners for the Roy Wander Franco down in Tampa Bay. He's going to be another one. I think the award will come out of Tampa Bay. I don't know who's going to win it, but come opening day 2022, one of the Expos will be holding it in Montreal. I'm just kidding. Their lease doesn't end until, I don't know, 2027 or something, but one of the Rays are going to win it. I'm going Franco. I think that Arozarena is going to struggle just enough, and I think that Franco, when he comes up, is going to have something similar to what didn't Juan Soto win it his year?
No, actually, Acuna won it in 2018.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's funny that you bring that up, Trevor, because I kind of drew some parallels to that as well. Only Franco wasn't the guy that I was thinking of being Soto. For me, it would be Bobby Witt. The guy hasn't played above rookie ball. And Soto, when he came up, he started the year in low A, and he played 16 games in double A. Well, he played like maybe 20 in A advance, and then 16 in double A, and then he got called up straight from there in May. And I think that Bobby Witt Jr. could be on that same path. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the AL this year that has Acuna's sort of potential. I'm not saying that Witt has Soto's type of potential, but in terms of their paths, I could see that. So I don't know. If Witt gets up soon enough, I'm going to put the deadline at Memorial Day. If Bobby Witt Jr. is up by Memorial Day, I think he wins the award.
And it goes back to your AL Rookie of the Year. If Witt comes up, that does wonders for the Royals and Mike Matheny's chances of winning that award, because a weak division, you get the Rookie of the Year playing in your lineup, hitting pretty well. Who knows? A few wins might be all it takes in that division. National League, this is an interesting one to me, just because it doesn't seem like there's overwhelming anything. You look at the American League, and it just seems like a list of studs. And you look at the National League, and you see a whole bunch of players that you expect to be solid, but that you don't necessarily expect to be like perennial all-stars. And the teams list, I don't know. I think of the teams, or of the players, for me it's either Sixto Sanchez or Cabrian Hayes, because they're going to get unlimited opportunities to continue to play and play through their struggles, whereas someone like an Ian Anderson or Christian Pache, you're not going to be able to have that leash with them because you're fighting for the division. And the Marlins still have high hopes in their division, but I don't think it's very realistic yet to say that they're going to be competing with Atlanta yet. I think they're a year away, but I think that's what will allow Sixto Sanchez to really be able to develop himself this year. So of the two, like you said, it's typically a position player that wins it, so I'll take Hayes, but it's between Hayes and Sanchez for me.
All right, so Cy Youngs, this one maybe Kaelyb can talk about a little bit more since Caleb's a pitcher.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You start.
Well, for the American League East, I really like my boy Tyler Glasnow. And why I say this is because we got glimpses of him actually being able to throw something other than a fastball. And his fastball command and off-speed command was average at best in the World Series. And that cost him a lot because he's their guy. But Ben and I have been kind of hinting at it a little bit with each other. I wouldn't necessarily say it's him because he always has something else in the back of his head. But I really like his ability to throw the slider. It's moving really well. And his fastball location I think it looked a little bit better in the spring training. So for my American League, I'm going to go Tyler Glass now. And when moving over to the National League, I'm kind of torn right now because
wrong answer.
Because, I mean,
it's 2 right answers in my opinion.
Oh no, only one's going to win, so there's only going to be one right answer.
It's true.
You see, I'm a little underprepared for this, not gonna lie, because I got slapped with this one. I got slapped with this podcast today. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head, but I think we're going to see my guy Jacob deGrom. Yeah, I think we're gonna go Jacob deGrom. I think, well, he's the GOAT. I think we can all agree on that. So, no explanation necessary. Go deGrom.
All righty. Ben?
In the AL, the favorite Shane Bieber, obviously. Seems too chalky for me to just pick Bieber, so I'm not going to pick Bieber.
You don't put against
that. I love Shane Bieber. I think there's a very good chance he's the best pitcher in baseball this year. But I'm not going to pick Shane Bieber. The next highest betting favorite is Garrett Cole. I think he's severely overrated. He's not nearly as good of a pitcher with the Yankees as he was with the Astros. We kind of saw it last year, but we didn't see it to the full extent because it wasn't a full season. But Garrett Cole is not a Cy Young candidate anymore for me. He's still an ace, but he's not a Cy Young candidate. And then if we keep moving down the odds list, the third guy is Lucas Giolito. And I think I'm kind of starting to profess my love for the White Sox. For those of you that don't know, I'm all aboard the White Sox bandwagon. So Lucas Giolito is going to be my pick for Cy Young. He'll talk a lot about Glass now. Stuff-wise, he's got the best stuff in the AL. If he could put it all together, he could win the award. But I also think it'd be difficult to win as a Ray based on Kevin Cash's management of starting pitchers. But Glasnow's curveball is unbelievable. His fastball is really nice. His biggest problem is that he needs a third pitch, and we saw the slider a little in spring training. So if he works well enough with the slider, he could win the award. But I'm going to go with Giolito. And then in the National League, I really want to throw a dark horse name out there, but I'm not going to predict it. I'm just going to say the name. Corbin Burns is going to be a Cy Young candidate this year. And I'd love to pick Corbin Burns to win, but it's not going to happen. Aaron Nola, Jack Flaherty, and Walker Buehler, they have nice years, but I don't see them winning the award. I think the answer has to be deGrom. I don't see anything stopping this man besides an injury. And he's throwing the ball harder every single year. The dude was touching 102 in like the second week of March. It's unbelievable. I don't know how you can pick anyone else.
He's pretty good, isn't he? I'm going to find you COVID symptoms after I get my second dose just to see deGrom pitch. I will come to Coors Field half dead just to watch deGrom. He's that good.
He's a once in a generation talent for sure.
If that. American League is it's so much less fun than the National League. I mean, the LA Dodgers have basically as many candidates as the entire American League does. I will get into that in a moment because I don't fully believe that statement, but I like Giolito. I love Giolito. He really showed something last year. I'm not a huge fan of Glass now. I really like him, but I think he's just missing too much to develop into a Cy Young candidate.
You're missing too much.
I see someone's a little upset.
At this stage in his career, I agree. But a year or two down the road,
yeah,
potentially.
That's going to be another thing that the Pirates really kind of wish they held on to him. I know it's too easy, but sometimes the easiest answer is the answer, as we saw in the National League. So I will go with Shane Bieber. I think that's such a weak division. We're going to see the same thing we did last year. We're playing those teams 20 times a year. Really benefits you. So you're getting 80 games, and if it aligns right, you might get 20 starts. Yeah, 20 starts against those teams. And if you have really good outings in those starts, with off days, it could be around 20. But I think Shane Bieber is really going to benefit from playing in the American League Central yet again. So he's my pick as AL Cy Young. The National League, it's too easy. Like, I really, really, really like Walker Buehler. And I think that he's going to take that next step this year and become the second best pitcher. And I'm always on the Walker Buehler hype train. And before Ben started mentioning that DeGrom was hitting 102, I completely forgot about because it's just DeGrom. Like, I see all these highlights from every single start he has, and it's just, it is what it is. But no, he is literally getting better and throwing harder every single year. It's illogical. And he's going to claim what was stolen from him last year by someone who can't pitch without pine tar. And Jacob DeGrom is going to win the 2001.
It wasn't stolen. Trevor Bauer deserved it last year.
Can't pitch without pine tar.
Yeah, he was shoving. He was shoving. But he's selling out for a Mickey Mouse ring, so he can kick rocks.
I hope he does. His agent's the only good thing about him. And I mean that because her openness is great for fans to see. Like, I truly enjoy seeing the openness. But also, that's why
I wish she'd open her shirt a little bit more.
Okay.
This is a public podcast.
I was
I'd
trying
love to open up her pants and see what's inside.
Okay. Well, you took that a step further, didn't you?
Her checkbook's probably large.
Anyways, let's talk about MVPs.
Ooh, I'm going without the most obvious answers in the book, but I'm going to go with it.
Huh?
Exactly.
When in doubt, for my AL MVP, I'm picking Mike Trout.
When in doubt, trout it out.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's a machine. Like, his production's insane. He's just on a terrible club. Like, Shohei Ohtani's great and all, but like,
Mike Trout is basically the Russell Westbrook of baseball.
Oh, good God.
eat your heart out, dog. Come on. He produces every year. He's the safest bet. I love Trout. Just plays with such a fire. He's a class act of a player too. So I'm going with Trout. And then for my NL MVP, Juan Soto.
Okay.
Dude hits kind of like Ted Williams almost. So
Good comparison, Kaelyb.
I'm going with Juan Soto.
A few times. American League. I don't think it's just an obvious Mike Trout choice, like everyone thinks it is.
Luke Voigt.
No, it's not going to be a Yankee.
That's your issue with Luke Voigt?
My boy Luis Robert with the White Sox is going to have an incredible season. I think he's going to be near the top of the MVP conversation. I think Alex Bregman's going to bounce back in a big way this year.
Oh.
And I think he could find himself in the conversation. I think Matt Chapman will be in the conversation. Love Matt Chapman. If I'm really going out on a limb, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has the potential to win an MVP this year. It's all about, for him, contact point of the ball. That's really about all I could see winning is that group of guys.
You're not even going to throw
I'm gonna-
Trout in the mix.
I'm going to pick Mike Trout to win.
But it's not that simple for you, though.
Well, here's the thing.
Because none of those dudes don't produce like Trout does. He's just a stud.
Well, here's the thing with Trout. I think this is going to be the last year where we see him as the true best player in baseball. It's going to be the last, in my opinion, the last year that he plays center field. He's going to get moved to a corner, and I mean, his offensive production will stay there and like steadily decline over time, but he's still probably got 3 to 5 years of being what he is as a hitter. But when you move him out of the corner position, he's not that elite defender, and he's not going to be an MVP candidate anymore. Not that perennial guy that should win it every year. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll throw Aaron Judge into the conversation as well. I didn't mention Aaron. Aaron Judge, if he stays healthy, could be in the MVP conversation. But anyways,
if he's a Yankee, of course he's not going to stay healthy.
I'm still picking Trout because I think that it's going to become apparent that this will be his last year in center, and the media is really going to push for him to win the award because of that. Because everyone wants to establish Mike Trout as the greatest baseball player of all time. So I think the goal is to get him the award, and he will win. In the National League, I like the Soto pick. I'm a huge Soto fan, but similar to what I said about Trout in future years, not playing center field is really going to hurt him. Because Soto's not really a very elite defender, and in the corner outfield spot, a corner outfielder can win, so they have to be elite defensively. For me in the National League, it's a 3-horse race. You've got Fernando Tatis Jr. with the Padres. You've got Mookie Betts and Ronald Acuna Jr. And my pick to win it is Acuna, simply because I think he was kind of overshadowed last year with the emergence of Tatis. And he wants to remind people, like, I'm still the stud. I'm still the guy. So Acuna is going to lead the league in homers. He's going to have the best WAR in the National League, and he's going to win MVP.
He is at plus 800 to win the MVP, actually. So Charlie Blackmon plus 5,000. if you're feeling really bold.
You feel like throwing some money away.
I like Lou Bob. It's Lou Bob. I really like Robert. I don't know if he's gonna win it. I mean, he's not my pick. I think he's such a good player that when the White Sox really hit their stride this year, of course they were the first series Oakland has won since 2006 in the postseason. And I think Chicago's going to get it back, even with a shortened or the original playoffs, just the 5 teams in each league. And I really think that he's going to put himself up there. I think Jose Abreu, again, is going to have a fantastic year on that team, trying to defend his crown. But I agree. It's Trout. The fact that he's Trout, and I think the Angels are going to be better this year, and the narrative of not going to be working if they have a healthy Ohtani. And I think Trout's going to win another MVP. National League, well, we had a Soto, we had an Acuna, and I hate Mookie Betts. Now, I don't really hate him. I just don't think that in LA he's going to have the types of seasons necessary to win MVP because he doesn't need to anymore. He's no longer the star of the team like he was in Boston. There's so many players around him. And like it or not, narrative does matter when talking about these things. And that's why I don't think Mookie Betts is going to win it. I'm going a little further south. And I'm taking the player who, not as of yet, and Ben and I have argued already on this podcast about it, But by the end of the season, there will be no doubt who the best shortstop in Major League Baseball is, and he's in San Diego for the next 11 years after this one, the first of which he'll have won MVP.
Okay.
Fernando Tatis Jr., for those who didn't put the pieces together.
No, I think we all kind of.
And those are the awards.
Not too confident in my Glasnow pick, but we're just gonna ride with it. We're just gonna see it out till the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gotta let it thrive. So are we ready to go into our standings? I probably won't do individual records because that's just so finicky, but I'll try to I'll rank the teams on. Ben, did you do the records?
I did.
I did not do records. I just doing standings.
Would you like me to just start talking about each division and then you guys can chime in on?
Yeah, sure.
Win? Okay. I'll start with the NL West, the best division in baseball. Actually, no, I'm going to end the NL West. I'm going to start the other way. AL East.
That's the correct way to start.
The New York Yankees are the odds-on favorites. Everyone's expecting a down year from the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't have either one of those teams winning the division. I have the Toronto Blue Jays at 91-71, beating the Yankees by 1 game. I have the Yankees 90-72, getting a wild card. Rays at 87-75. Red Sox 72-90, and the Orioles 66-96.
The disrespect to Pat Valleca.
Actually, that's over their win total, so I think I was being generous with the Orioles.
They're a dark horse playoff team.
I
for MVP.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Orioles ended with a better record than the Red Sox. I don't think the Red Sox are very good at all.
No, we're rebuilding right now with our hundreds of millions of dollars that we sit on every year. So,
but yeah, I am flying high on the Blue Jays. Like I said, Vlad could be an MVP candidate. Love Bo Bichette. Love Kevin Biggio. Lourdes Gurriel's kind of a baller. George Springer.
Jose Bautista University.
That's a pretty good base of a lineup. Pretty good core there. And I think they have some sneaky good pitching, too. Hyun-Jin Ryu's good. Like I said, I'm really high on Nate Pearson. He could be their number 2 starter by the end of the year. Robbie Ray as a bounce-back candidate. I think he's got some potential there. He can just figure out his control issues.
They're boomer.
Ross Stripling is nice and steady. I don't want to talk about their other pitchers. But the bullpen's not bad. They got some solid pieces in the bullpen. I got the Blue Jays winning the division because I do think that they have a better team. I think that they will outlast the Yankees. Oh, shit. I forgot to mention Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez is a baller, too. Anyway, better offense, or comparable to the Yankees offensively and in the rotation, and have a better bullpen. So, Blue Jays are my pick.
So, I'm speaking on hypotheticals here, and I think Yankees can stay healthy, limit their injuries. They're one of the best teams in baseball. I have them winning the AL East, but I have the Blue Jays going second, Rays going third, Red Sox going fourth, and the Orioles in dead last because they're awful.
The pot calling the kettle. I suppose that's up to me. Tampa Bay is weird because obviously they lost Snell, and then their hero from the World Series, Lau, is gone as well. But they have some new pieces. Is Glass now ready to take that step up and become their new starter? And with the way Kevin Cash manages, like it was alluded to earlier, it doesn't really matter. If you're a solid starting pitcher, you're going to be fine. Even if you give up a run or two, you're going to be fine over the first 5 innings or so. And that's just how Tampa Bay works. Sometimes you don't even start the game if you're a starting pitcher. It's just such a weird way that Tampa Bay works, so they're so hard to predict. because they're so analytical. Like they're just like they're so difficult. I'm very, as you can tell, I'm really struggling with where to put the Rays here. They really, for me, could end anywhere between first and third. I will probably put them second. Tampa Bay, that's a team, not the team I meant to say. Toronto, I think you're picking the high side for them. I'll take the low side, which is third. But it's going to be a dogfight for the AL East. And I don't think the Yankees are the best of those three teams. To be entirely honest, I think they're the third best of those three teams. But I think they're going to do just enough to win the division. And it'll leave Tampa Bay and Toronto fighting in a wild card game. So Yankees winning the division, Tampa Bay hosting the wild card game, Toronto in third. I'll take Baltimore in fourth and Boston in fifth.
I just want to say my beef with Tampa is their offense. I think they have as much organizational pitching depth as any team in the majors besides the Dodgers and the Padres. But so, like, in terms of eating up innings and getting consistent good performances, like, out of the bullpen, and I mean, they can go really like 10 starters deep too. I'm not too worried about that per se. It's just I don't think the offense can keep up with the bats of the Blue Jays and Yankees.
I think we kind of got a clear image of the Rays offense last postseason too, because they're really dependent on the long ball. They really live and die off the long ball. So on the games that they're not hitting it out, they're going to really struggle. So that's kind of why I'm in the balance between the Blue Jays and the Rays. But I do like their pitching depth, which is why I put them above the Blue Jays.
All right, AL Central. I am singing the White Sox's praises.
What was that? Mia Khalifa? Okay.
I got them at 98 and 64. Run away with the best division.
Oh,
or the
my
best record
God.
in baseball, or in the AL, I'm sorry, at 98 wins. I got them winning the division by 11 games. I don't think this is nearly as weak of a division as Trevor alluded to earlier. I think it's actually a fairly strong division. I just think the White Sox are that freaking good. I've got the Royals at 87 and 75, so tied with the Rays for that record. Yeah, I love the Royals offense. Absolutely love the Royals offense. Jorge Soler is going to hit 40 bombs.
It's a wishful
Whit
thinking.
Merrifield. What's that?
I like your wishful thinking, but I just don't know if I'm there.
Whit Merrifield, Andrew Benintendi is going to bounce back, and we're finally going to see the kind of potential that we saw in him his rookie year. Kyle Isbell made the opening day roster. He's going to be a solid bat for him. Hunter Dozier, they just signed him to extension. I'm high on Hunter Dozier. Carlos Santana brings some power, and he'll walk a lot, get on base. You love to see that. Salvador Perez back and healthy. Adalberto Mondesi is one of the most electrifying players in baseball. If he can figure out enough consistency with the bat, he is a top 7 shortstop in the game. And, of course, Bobby Witt Jr.
If he gets called up.
I love the Royals offense. I think they have some sneaky good pitching here, too. Danny Duffy is solid. I'm expecting a lot out of Brady Singer and Daniel Lynch and Jackson Coher.
I am high on Singer. I like him a lot. We talk about him all the time, actually.
We've got Mike Minor. He kind of had a down year last year, but his velocity was up higher in spring training than it had been in the last 3 years. And he was pretty good with Texas a couple of years ago. So I'm a little high on Mike Minor. And then Jacob Junis and Brad Keller. I think they've got enough guys here to keep some solid starting pitching. And Josh Stalmon on the back end of that bullpen, I think he is going to be one of the best closers in baseball. Actually, Wade Davis might be closing. I think Josh Stalmon is one of the best relievers in baseball. Kansas City Royals, 87 wins, getting that wild card. Let's go. I got the Twins at 84 and 78. There's some people who still think they can win the division. I think they took a step backwards, but they do have a solid group still. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make the playoffs. Indians, 79 and 83. They still have really good pitching, but losing Lindor is really going to hurt them. Tigers, 73 and 89.
Yeah, they're trash.
They're getting better, though. You can see
I don't
them
think Tigers are as bad as people think they are. And I think they could be competing as soon as next year, but not this year.
So I took a page out of Ben's book. I haven't really looked into this White Sox team all that much. Kind of been a bad baseball fan this offseason. But I have them winning the division. The emergence of the young talent they have. It's kind of tough to write them off. But I actually have the Twins going second. I think we see Berrios kind of fill into his role of really being that dude, and I think he kind of gets it done on the first game of every series. I think, honestly, I wish I would have given him some sort of candidacy for winning. Huh?
This ain't college. He ain't throwing the first game of every series.
Well, no, sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. But I like him as a consistent arm that can get a win every series. Losing Lindor is tough, but I really like the Indians. I have them third. I don't know how high Ben is, but I have the Royals in 4 and the Tigers finishing last.
Chicago's the best
If
team.
you're going to make a bold prediction, you might as well follow through with it. So that's why I'm all in on the Royals.
The AL Central is better than I thought it was. I think overall, it's still weaker than the other divisions, but I think I actually think the
division in the AL for me.
Yes, now the AL West is now worse. Chicago's the best team. If they don't win it, it's going to be an upset. Cleveland, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what the Indians are attempting. They're not even going to be the Indians after this season. They're losing everything, including their identity. But I have them in third. I'll take Minnesota second. Yeah, I know that's backwards. I don't care. I'll take the Royals in fourth. And then there's a little bit of margin back to the Tigers. I do think the Royals are going to be better. And they're going to be right on the heels of the Indians. I don't think Minnesota gets close enough to the Rays and the Blue Jays to get to the wild card game. They could. I'm not writing that off. Minnesota's still a very solid team. But even if they win the wild card game, they still have to face the Yankees. So what's really the point of them even making the playoffs at that point? So, Detroit is getting close. And they're one of the teams that you can really see starting to put the pieces together. CJ Cron was a very solid piece from them. And if the Rockies weren't terrible, I would have been so excited about him coming to the Rockies because that's their first legitimate first baseman since Justin Morneau. And I understand Cron is with the Rockies and he's no longer a piece on the Tigers, but I'm just saying that even when they were terrible, you could still see the pieces they had. And yeah, like I said, I understand Cron isn't a piece that would take them further, but Detroit always kind of had that mindset, even when they were terrible. And they even still have Miguel Cabrera to tie it back together to their last run. Not that you're necessarily expecting anything from Cabrera at all here, but it is kind of cool to see them starting to get better, and hopefully Cabrera is able to make one last run with his old team. I guess that'd be Miami, but
you better not be writing off the former Triple Crown winner, Trevor.
Like 37.
I don't know.
I don't know how old he is. Make a deal, Cohen.
All right, AL West. I've got the A's win this division at 88 and 74.
Hey,
and I'm beating the Astros by one game, 87-75. Mariners 76 and 86. This Mariners team is going to be a lot better than people think. They're making the playoffs next year, not this year, but they're going to be way better than people are expecting. The Mariners have a lot of legit pieces, and they have a really good pipeline. I really am bullish on Mariners pitching development. I think that they are a couple of years away from having top 5 starting rotation and top 5 bullpen. Really bullish on their ability to develop pitchers, not even just the players they get, but turning guys that are nothing into something. Angels 74 and 88. They still don't have any pitching. They're still going to be crap. Rangers 69 and 93. So that's my division there.
Win.
Overall AL, I have the A's winning their division, White Sox and Blue Jays. And I have wild cards of Yankees and Royals. That second wild card spot, I have a 3-way tie between the Royals, Astros, and Rays, just because I want mayhem. And I somehow have the Rays getting that. I don't know how, but, just for fun.
I kind of followed along with Ben here. I took the A's mainly because I hate the Astros and I don't want them to have any success in baseball. So I went with the Oakland Athletics for 1. I'll take the Astros at 2, mainly because they do have the talent. They honestly have the talent to win it. But I like the Oakland Athletics. I like those small market teams that kind of make a run at it. So I'm going to take the A's, Astros. And I'm kind of tied here because I'm not a big fan of the bottom of this division, mainly because the Angels are always just kind of like they never really have anything to back it up. I haven't really been paying attention to the Mariners or Rangers lately because they haven't really been really in my face. So I'm just going to go Angels, Mariners, Rangers for my final 3 in the division.
Houston's the best team in the division.
I disagree so strongly with that. The A's have been the best team in this division for like 3 years now, and all they lost was Liam Hendricks.
I just think
Marcus Semien was a below-average defensive shortstop, and they replaced him with Elvis Andrus, who's better than him offensively.
I mean, Matt Chapman is one of the best third basemen, if not the best third baseman.
That is it. They retained their entire starting rotation, and they've got young guys that are going to take a step forward this year. Cough, cough, Jesus Luzardo. And the Astros lost Springer. I don't see how the Astros are a better team than the A's.
Okay. Springer isn't going to be as big as people think he is. And the Astros are going to be extremely pissed off after everything that happened in 2019, the offseason of 2019. And they're going to be fueled by that hatred. Houston nearly made it to the World Series last year. And they lost an aging center fielder. I think the Astros are going to come back this year and win the AL West, and they're going to show everybody that they don't need trash cans to be one of the best teams in baseball. I'll take Oakland second. It'll be a close battle. But I do think Houston is good enough where I think it'll be something similar to maybe like the last week of 2018 where the Astros would lose a couple games and the A's would close within 1 or 2, and the Astros would just pull back away. Oakland would get close. They just can't get close enough. The bottom 3 in this division are not good. I do, like I said, I think the Angels are better, but they're just not good enough. So I'll take the Angels in 3rd, Seattle 4th, Texas 5th. The Rangers are just...
David Dahl.
Yeah, they've got David Dahl. That's,
Ben, do you think we see a glimpse of Cole Winn getting called up this year?
No.
It's always worth a try to see the Colorado native.
Not a shot this year. Was he drafted in 18, correct?
Yeah, he's our class, 18.
Yeah. So a high school kid that's 21 years old that hasn't pitched above A ball on a non-contending team, not a chance we see him this year. Depending on his development, we might not even see him next year. Actually, we probably won't see him next year. I bet 2023 for Cole Winn. So what did you guys have for wild card teams?
Tampa Bay, Toronto.
Okay.
Tampa Bay, Toronto.
Okay. So we have
I'm just really on the edge about that American League East because I really like Glass now, and I like Rosarina, but I just don't know much about the Jays if I'm being honest. Like I said, I haven't been the best baseball fan this offseason, so I just don't know much, but I'll throw the Astro. I'll
I'm buying
do
all the offenses. Offense for me is the key to making the playoffs this year. Screw your pitching.
yeah, see we're just different on that. So
Buying into the Blue Jays offense, the Royals offense, and I got one in the NL too.
Let's go to the National League.
Okay, National League East. Braves are going to win this division 94-68. Francisco Lindor made the Mets better, not as good as everyone thinks. I think I was really generous and gave them 86 wins. I don't really know if they'll even get there. I mean, I see people predict them in the 90s. I don't see any way this team wins 90 games. I think 86 is more than generous for the Mets.
Who did they lose since 2019?
I don't know. I just don't really think that. I don't really think much of the Mets. The Mets won 72 games in 2019?
They won 86 in 2019.
Okay. Well, I don't really care. The Mets they lost everything to now. Mets are winning 86.
Francisco Lindor.
The GOAT?
The Mets are winning 86. I got the Marlins and Phillies tied at 78 and 84. The Nationals at 68 and 94. I think the Nationals are going to be very booty hole this year. And I feel bad for Juan Soto. I really hope he doesn't sign an extension with them because I'd like to see him on a contending team. But I know he got that World Series when he was young. But if he stays with the Nationals long term, he might not see the playoffs until he's 35. Like the Nationals farm system is so bad. Their major league team is not very good. Corbin looked awful in spring training. He's fallen off of a cliff. Scherzer is in a contract year and 36. Strasburg's in his 30s. Nationals are in big trouble. So, yeah, that's my NL East. I think the Braves win it pretty easily.
Yeah, I got the Braves winning it too. I like their young talent with I don't know if I'd necessarily say because Dansby's young, but he's definitely
Younger.
Yeah, he's younger. He's on the younger side. So I really like him.
Not compared Not compared to the rest of the Braves, but in comparison to the rest of baseball this year.
I really like him, and I like Ronald Acuna. I really think that they just kind of spring them into that top role. It's just a matter of if they can actually make it out of either a first round game or a first round series or not, because they've struggled in the past.
Last year was all NLCS. That 3-1 lead.
And I like Jacob deGrom, but I think I'm kind of riding with Ben on this one. I don't know if they're really going to be that great, but I think deGrom's going to be. He's obviously going to be a double-digit win. He's going to be in the double digits in the win column, so I really like him.
Really
Phillies.
important.
Yeah, who gives a shit about wins? Pitcher wins.
Well, it's not the go-to, but it's just kind of what was going through my head. I don't really know what else to say.
A losing record with a 1.90 ERA. I cannot stress enough. Who gives a shit about pitcher wins?
I think we see the Nationals finishing third, Phillies fourth, Marlins fifth.
No Marlins slander. That's what Jaden would say if he was here. He'd also tell us that the Mets are going 72 and 90. So I just
Starling the Marling. Also, I'm certain you'll be surprised, but I actually have the NL East very similar to that of the AL West, where it'll be back and forth at least for most of the September. They might even win comfortably, but It's Atlanta. They're the best team, but New York is A2. If it's A1, then A2. The Mets are right there with them. They won 86 games in 2019. They dropped Zach Wheeler. They're going to get Syndergaard back at some point during the season. Carrasco is going to be a nice improvement to the rotation. Ben doesn't like him. I think he's a good number 4 starter, which is what he will be. Marcus Stroman.
When did Syndergaard get back again? June?
I think so.
June
Stroman
swoon,
just
the
free.
Rockies' favorite month.
No, we usually start tanking around May. Actually, it was July.
It might be your number 2, depending on how they line stuff up. I'm not sure if they put Carrasco in front of him or not.
Depends how he's pitching.
It is a good rotation. It really is. It's just a matter of
Their
what they can do
bullpen.
with it.
Roman is number 2 starter.
Their bullpen is what's going to be the deciding factor. They're going to get offense. It's finally looking like they're actually going to have an offense this year. They added Lindor. They're going to have Pete Alonso back for his junior season.
Trevor to Pete Alonso.
Actually, no.
His rookie year? Oh my goodness, Trevor.
He broke the rookie record for home runs in a season. I feel that was slightly rational. New York is going to go, because like I said, they won 86 games in 2019, and all they lost technically was Zach Wheeler and Robinson Cano, and they replaced Zach Wheeler with Carlos Carrasco and Marcus Stroman, and they replaced Robinson Cano.
Those two.
Whatever. You're gonna see.
Really, you don't like Stroman at all, do you?
No, he hates Stroman.
I'm not racist. Chill out here.
I love
My thing
Stroman.
with Stroman is he peaked his rookie year, and he has gone downhill every year since then. And he opted out last year. In my opinion, he was going to be a below-average starting pitcher in 2020. He opted out of the season because he was afraid he was going to lose money in free agency. I don't know why the Mets gave him a qualifying offer, and then he accepted, of course. I'm just not very high on Stroman. I don't see him being more than a number 4 starter on a good club. And even that might be generous at this point in his career. I just don't see it with him.
Mets are second in that division, but they're going to make a wild card spot. Miami third. They're getting close. They're almost there. I don't think Philadelphia.
You were there last year.
Terrible. Yeah, but not actually there. They were what, the 7 seed? Or are they the 6 seed?
6, I believe.
So they still wouldn't have made the playoffs if it was 5, which it is this year. So I don't think Miami's going to get particularly close. They're probably going to be right around 500, maybe a little above, which would still be a fantastic season for this team coming off of a year where a lot of people think they overachieved last year. And there's nothing wrong with missing the playoffs in a 162-game season if you're this young, if you're Miami, because you're going to be... The Mets are an older team. So they have assuming they re-sign Lindor, which it doesn't seem like they're going to extend him. Their window is going to be maybe 5 years, the Mets. Then it's Atlanta and Miami. It's going to be those two teams for maybe 10 years, going back and forth.
Cycle.
I've never seen such a look of disgust in my life.
He can look however he wants.
All right, I think we transition to the...
All right, we'll move on to the worst division in baseball, the National League Central. I've got the Brewers winning this division at 86 and 76.
You
Worst
are
division
so beyond high right now.
What? Picking the Brewers to win?
I got the Cards, bro.
The Brewers are going to have 2 of the top 5 pitchers in the National League at the end of the year, Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff. Heard it here first. That offense is kind of sneaky good. Christian Yelich Keston Hiura is going to come back, and we're going to see flashes of what we saw his rookie year. Lorenzo Cain is back after opting out last year. They signed Colton Wong in the offseason. What else they got? Well, Jackie Bradley Jr., Caleb's favorite player.
Shut up.
But the Brewers have good pitching. The pitching is going to lead them to this rotation, to this division, because of how weak it is. So I got the Brewers winning the division 86 and 76. I've got the Cardinals.
Pirates 65 and 97.
Yeah, the Cardinals. You're cutting in and out.
Nah, I think his AirPod died or something because they're not connected anymore. And he actually sounds better.
That's weird. They're still connected for me.
Oh, they're back.
For me,
I said the Pirates are 65 and 97. Their win total in Vegas is only 58.5. I think it'll be a little better than that. Cubs are going to be awful. 71 wins. Worse than the Red Sox.
The Cubes.
no Red Sox
Kyle Hendricks
slander.
is getting traded at the deadline.
Bryant and Rizzo might also be gone.
Kyle Hendricks will be the top starting pitcher traded at the deadline to the Kansas City Royals.
All right, Kaelyb.
So sorry, I didn't puff any of that good WE star D. I have the Cardinals, the perennial powerhouse of the NL Central.
That division in what, 6-7 years?
With the emergence of Nolan Arenado, I think it really gives them that edge.
Is emergence the right word there?
No.
Fine, with the addition
There you
of
go.
Nolan Arenado, I really think it gives the
young
Cardinals.
Back to Nolan Arenado. I think he's got a career ahead of him.
I think that with a lot of veteran experience, that it gives the Cardinals sort of that edge over the Brewers. So I like them, even though I'm a big Josh Hader fan, but I just don't.
Of course.
I just don't really see them having the talent to outbeat the Cardinals. But I do have the Brewers finishing second. No slander here because I'm a big Christian Yelich fan too. But I just don't see them going any bit. I think that's their ceiling. Maybe sneaking a wild card.
Ray Peralta, Adrian Hauser, Devin Williams. That's smart.
And Bradley Jr. signed for a lot less than people thought he was going to, and he's still a decent player.
Third, I think I'm kind of tongue tied between the Cubs and the Reds here. I think it's just a battle of like trash cans, but I got the Cubs going third, the Reds going fourth, and obviously the Pirates finishing in dead last of that division.
I don't think St. Louis is as good as people think they are. They're just not.
Pitching is not very good.
Arenado can only do so much.
Yeah, he did plenty for the Rockies.
Got us to the play.
Exactly.
And that was because of pitching. Arenado was a Gold Glover and one of our best hitters for 8, 9, however long he played with us.
I
And
guess
the
he
2
isn't
years
at Coors, so
the 2 years we made the playoffs with him, it was the years we had pitching. And I do not think the Cardinals have very good pitching, so I am taking the Milwaukee Brewers. The division is terrible, but I think Milwaukee somehow went from being an older team to now all of a sudden being a younger team while still keeping their same core, and it happened in like overnight. So they've got themselves retooled and ready to. It's like when they unveiled the new uniforms, they unveiled a whole bunch of new players are going to start helping their team. But no, that team is dangerous. You mentioned Corbin Burns when talking about potential Cy Young Award winners. And this Brewers team They're probably going to be in the 3 seed among division winners, and they're going to get clapped by Atlanta. But they're going to make the playoffs, and they've still got a really bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to face Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff in a 5-game series.
No, and Atlanta would have
a hit. Three of the starts, and that's not going to be fun.
No. And that's the great thing about the National League Division Series is that who knows what's going to happen.
Sean Heyman of MLB Network reports that the Mets are in agreement on an extension with star shortstop Francisco Lindor.
That's exciting. Hey, Gabe Landeskog scored. Definitely the most important part about this.
The deal is the $340 million range, according to Heyman.
So they took, that's Cohen's. Because Lindor's was $385 for 12. So that does change my. I don't know how to speak Finnish. That's beside the point. That doesn't that changes my outlook for the Mets because them locking up Lindor for the future lengthens that window a little bit for them. I think they're. That's not the point of this, but that's interesting that it happened because the last notification I got from Hassan was that they are no closer to a contract extension with opening day approaching. So that was 15 minutes ago. So apparently they got a lot closer very quickly.
They're still going to win 86 games, just like the Brewers.
St. Louis is second. I don't think they're a very close second. I mean, relative to everything else, but Chicago is terrible. They've pissed off their fans. They've pissed off their players. Their only difference from being the Rockies is that they've kept their players while pissing them off. They're going to have a fire sale at the trade deadline.
That's not true. The Cubs have paid guys before.
Hey, we paid Desmond. And Mike Hampton.
Not even half of what Jason Hayward's contract was.
Jesus. But yeah, Chicago's terrible. I'll take Cincinnati third. They're going to take a step back. They're going to need to retool if they want to fully hit their stride and hit their window. I'll take Chicago fourth just because Pittsburgh's terrible. But they're getting better, and soon it'll be the Cubes at the bottom of the division. Yeah, that's my division, National League Central. Brewers are going to win it. St. Louis going to be like 4 or 5 games behind them, but that's going to be like at 500 or so. National League West time.
And that brings us to the NL West.
Such a fun division.
This is going to come down to the last game of the year. The Padres are going to win the division at 104-58.
I was thinking they were going to win 105
game over the Dodgers, who win 103 games. Third place in the division belongs to your San Francisco Giants. Eat your heart out, Giants fans. We're going back to the playoffs. Odd year magic. 87-75, 1 game ahead of the Mets for the second wild card spot.
Hopefully Tyler Rogers.
Get your asses handed to you by the Dodgers. Diamondbacks 71-91. Rockies 56-106. And I might be a little generous.
Holy crap!
That is it. The first, I was with you the first two. Yep.
Okay. I talked about the Royals offense. I talked about the Blue Jays offense. The Giants sneakily have one of the best offenses in baseball. They were, I think, 6th or 7th best offense last year, and added to it with Tommy La Stella.
Wow.
And Buster Posey coming back from COVID opt-out.
Oh.
How old is he?
34. Now Kurt Casale is a backup catcher instead of Chadwick Trump. You've got Joey Bart waiting in the wings. Now he's going to get a little bit of minor league playing time, get that under his belt, and he's going to be way better. Evan Longoria is going to be healthier than he was last year.
How old is he?
35.
You're not trying to win the 2008 World Series, boy.
But here's the separator. The Giants pitching is going.
Tim Lincecum is being brought back to their rotation.
75-year-old Johnny Cueto.
A really good pitcher. The Giants have gotten something. They've gotten to him. He is finally starting to reach his potential. Kevin Gausman is a good pitcher. Johnny Cueto is going to be back and healthy. I have the truest belief that Anthony DeSclafani and Alex Wood, the Giants are going to do the same stuff with them that they did with Gausman. They're going to turn them into really good starting pitchers. And then you got Logan Webb running out the rotation. He only gave up one run of all spring training. I am bullish about the San Francisco Giants. The bullpen's pretty strong too. 87 wins. If they were in the NL Central, they'd win it. That's how bad the Central is. Giants, 87 wins going to the playoffs, baby.
How do you think Rodgers does this year?
That one.
Tyler Rogers?
Yeah. You know, the Colorado
problem with him
native.
is that he can't pitch with runners on base. So, like, he's going to have, I mean, it reminds me a lot of, what's his face? Adam Ottavino. In the sense that he's not going to give up many hits. He's not going to give up a lot of hard contact.
He throws 82 miles an hour.
It's very unique. But the problem is that he gets he walks guys because he tries to dance around the corners because he only throws 82. So he walks guys, and then he gets guys on base, and he just loses it because he walks guys and leaves stuff over the middle of the play, and that's when he gives up homers. So Tyler Rogers will probably end with an ERA in the 4s, but it's going to be inflated from like 5 bad appearances, and he'll be good to go the rest. He'll blow 5 saves, and he'll have 2 runs given up the rest of the year outside of those 5 appearances.
Do you remember when we watched him opening day last year? What happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Going with
he was using Tyler Rogers at the end of the year as like a put out the fire kind of guy. Tyler Rogers isn't that guy because he can't pitch with runners on base. But I think now the bullpen's a little bit deeper. He's kind of learned that, and good to go. So 10-341 for Lindor.
We're getting Francisco Lindor Day because there's deferrals. Bobby Bonilla Day will immediately be replaced by Francisco Lindor Day. Kaelyb, did you go through?
Not yet, but I'm with Ben. I got the Padres winning the NL West. I think they have the most talented team. I like Yu Darvish a lot. I think he's learned a lot since he left LA. Actually, I really like Blake Snell there too. Even though I'm kind of sad to see him and Glasnow get broken up, but Blake Snell is not really the type of pitcher to do with deal with analytics. I don't think, especially with how deep he can go into games and how effective he is, because he's still throwing it. 97, 98 going into like the 6th or 7th inning with a very effective off speed. Huh?
I don't know because he never pitches into the 6th or 7th inning.
Well, last year when he punched the first guy out of the inning, he was like 96 to 97. That I bet.
Pitch into the 7th inning last year.
No, I'm talking about before he got pulled. He was in like the 6th inning, and he was like 90, 96, 97 before he got pulled.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like Snell. I think the rosters just look very solid. So I like the Padres over the Dodgers. I think it's going to be a dogfight, especially with the adding of Trevor Bauer to an already insane rotation with Kershaw, Buehler, now Bauer and
Dustin May.
Yeah. Ben and I are high. Ben showed me him last year, and I'm pretty high on him. But
That's ironic because I've actually gone down on him so much since I showed you that.
But like, Ben kind of talked to me about it a little bit, and Dustin May's thing is like, he's really young. He's really young, and they developed him really well, but he doesn't really just have. I don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if he just has it to be like.
Who?
He's a sinker ball pitcher. Sinker ball pitchers don't miss bats in the majors, regardless of how wild the sinkers are. So his stuff looks incredible, but you don't miss bats with the sinker because it's straight this way. So all the batter has to do is just swing out a little bit farther.
Yeah, and then what do they have? Who's the dude with the glasses? Urias or whatever?
Urias.
Yeah. He was a big piece last year's run, so I like him a lot too. But I think with Tatis Machado, I really like that side of the infield. So I'm going Dodgers going second, but it's gonna be a dogfight. The Diamondbacks and Rockies are just terrible. So I gotta go Dodgers third. We're gonna see Trevor
Dodgers second.
Or Giants, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I got the Giants third, and it's just a battle of trash cans at this point. But I'm gonna go with Trevor. Rockies finishing fourth.
With me?
What?
I have them tying the 1962 Mets at 40 and
They're
100.
finishing fourth. Bet on it. Diamondbacks
No!
last in the division.
Don't bet on it. Please don't bet on it.
Our official stance on this podcast is against betting on the Rockies to finish fourth in the division. Just want to make sure everyone knows we do not endorse that. Kaelyb does, but stay off the weed.
Don't finish that word.
Duh.
I didn't. All right. I don't think it's going to be as close as you guys think. I think Los Angeles got very, very lucky last year in the playoffs against Atlanta when they were down 3-1. Then also Kevin Cash.
I'd argue Atlanta got lucky to be in that situation. The Dodgers were the better team all along.
They murdered Los Angeles in multiple games that series. I refuse to call that luck. You can't lose games. Let's just quickly check to see how bad they were losing games in that series. Not that it necessarily matters, but
No, my point is that the Dodgers were the better team the whole time. They just weren't playing well at the beginning of the series. The Braves were the better team, at that moment in time for those first couple of games. But the Dodgers were the better team.
they might have been the better team. It doesn't matter if you're on.
So the Braves were fortuitous that the Dodgers were playing so poorly. And they were lucky to be in the situation where they were up 3-1. And I would argue they were more lucky than the Dodgers would have come back from being down 3-1.
Yeah.
But teach their own. You've got the Dodgers.
I have LA in second. San Diego's going to win it fairly comfortably. San Francisco's third, but I don't know what the hell you're on. They're not winning 87 games. Especially when they have to play the Dodgers and the Padres 40 times. It's not happening.
Yeah, but they also get to play the Rockies and Diamondbacks 40 times.
Yes, but they're much closer to the Diamondbacks than they are the Dodgers.
What does the Diamondbacks have? The Diamondbacks pitching is awful. The Diamondbacks pitching is really bad. Zach Allen's out for 2 months, and he was all they had. Madison Bumgarner, who was awful last year. Kaelyb Smith, who had a 7 ERA in the spring.
I was pitching in the league. Wow, I didn't even know.
I don't know what else they have in that rotation.
Look, the cold hard truth is
Alex Young.
When Jorge De La Rosa, Kyle Freeland, and
Luke Weaver, you're
Dale and Freeland. Actually, was it?
Forget about it. The Diamondbacks are not going to be good.
I don't think they are going to be good.
Give me prime Todd Helton and the Rockies win the NL West.
We had prime Todd Helton and we didn't win the NL West.
No,
how many games are the Rockies winning, Trevor?
How many games?
Yeah.
Probably 65 or 66. If we're being fair,
They're
they're going to
going
do
to lose
just
less
enough.
than 100?
They're going to do just enough for the owners. I'm sorry. To be
Bud
like
Black is the manager of the year. No Bud
for
Black
winning
slander.
65 games. I don't think they're going to lose 100. They're a bad team, but I don't think Nolan is going to change them too much. If we're being entirely honest, if
Well, I
you
had them losing
listen,
100 with Nolan.
if you listen to how they talked last year, I think Nolan leaving might, it's going to sound really weird, help them out. Not like actually help them out, but you kind of get my point.
Mentally.
Huh?
Mentally.
Yeah. Like,
Herman Marquez will be an angel at the second half of the season.
and there's your push. No, but I think Arenado leaving just kind of lifts the pressure off of all of the players. They're like, you know what? We don't have that person demanding excellence who's getting on us when we're struggling. We can fight through our own issues. And I think that'll be just enough to get them over 60 wins, 62 wins. They're clearly not going to be a good team, but I think Nolan leaving is actually going to really help the mental state of that team because it's not like, oh, we have to win for Nolan. Now he's gone and you can't disappoint him anymore, so you just can play yourselves.
Like the trash cans you guys are.
No, I really think if Nolan was on the team, because like last year, Nolan was one of the worst players the Rockies had. Because he kept fighting, he tried to fight through his injury, and then as soon as he left, they started playing better. And then Kevin Pillar, a guy who had been on the team for like a month, was talking about how when he got hurt, it was like a relief that he was gone and that they could start playing their own baseball. And it was too late at that point. They're terrible then. They're still terrible now. But
All right, let's move on to the playoffs and wrap this thing up. I have my wild card matchups. I have in the American League the Yankees and the Royals. This sadly will be the end of the Royals Cinderella story. And I have the Dodgers and Giants. And if anyone's going to beat the Dodgers in a wild card game, it's going to be the Giants, just because it's their rival and they always play
getting
with
no
the
hit.
Giants.
Shut up. They're not
But the Dodgers are going to
big.
win that game. So I've got the Dodgers and Yankees both moving on.
Who are you guys gonna throw? Johnny Cueto?
Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman's going to be an all-star this year.
Yeah, you're only one because every team has to have one.
Nope. We're going to have 3.
Oh
Kevin
God.
Gausman, Mike Yastrzemski, and Donovan Solano.
Kaelyb, what's your wild card round?
Sorry, I closed my laptop. I thought we were done after this one. It's like, let me pull up my spreadsheet. I apologize for prolonging.
Oh, I already have Iowa Knight.
Booker, I hardly know her, just reached 30 points tonight.
So did Jeremy Grant.
Okay, so for my wild cards, I
Cardinals
got the
too.
I
Wait, no, never mind. That was Monday.
got the Jays, and don't know why I picked this. I'm just gonna go with it. I got the Jays and the Angels, and then for the NL, I got the Dodgers and the Mets.
I've got in
And
the
the winners
AL.
of those games?
Oh, Blue Jays over the Angels, and I got the Mets over the Dodgers.
DeGrom is better than any pitcher the Dodgers have.
That's true.
I think you get them into a series. I think they make a legitimate push as well because they're going to have DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Stroman. So I think there's a little bit to that.
I would tout Carrasco more than Stroman, but
Yep, and
I'm a big Stroman guy.
because they'd want to left you throw.
But yeah, I got the Mets over the Dodgers.
AL I have Blue Jays at Rays, and in the NL I've got Mets at Dodgers. Yeah, Mets have done it in LA before. I like DeGrom in that situation. It's kind of going to be Bumgarner versus Syndergaard, where it's the first team to score is going to win. And it's so hard to predict that because who knows who Connor Gillespie is going to be in that type of game. You really don't know. I mean,
Zach McKinstry.
huh?
Zach McKinstry.
Sure. Juan Lagares. I don't know what's happening with my laptop. It's struggling. In the AL, the AL is going to be another one if their rotation lines up right to have Glasnow go. I think the Rays' rotation drops. I mean, it also depends on Patino because they'll likely have one of those two going in the wild card game, and we don't really know what Patino is going to look like yet his rookie season, and so if Glasnow doesn't take that step up towards becoming a star, um, the Rays are in trouble if they don't have the rotation lined up to have Glasnow pitch that wild card game. And if he doesn't become the star that we think he's going to be, they're still in trouble. So I'll take Toronto in that game. It's going to be a shootout. So I have the Blue Jays in the ALDS against the Yankees. I have White Sox.
Okay, so my DS is unfortunately the Padres have to play the Dodgers because the Dodgers are in a wild card. That's going to be the series of the playoffs. It's going to be very good. I got the Padres winning on a Fernando Tatis Jr. walk-off homer off of Kenley in the ninth, just because that'd be fun. And I've got the Braves sweeping the Brewers because, like I said, they got those fun pitchers, but they can't keep up with the Braves. White Sox are going to beat the Yankees 3-2. I don't know why that game's going to go 5 games, but I did. And then I've got the A's beating the Blue Jays 3-1.
I did not go that deep, but I do have a World Series prediction, so I will let Trevor go.
So my ALDS, I've got Chicago hosting Toronto, and then what's my other one? It's New York and Houston. So I'll have the Astros hosting the Yankees. They always find a way to make it past the ALDS. So I'm taking the Astros. I think that come the playoffs, the Yankees are going to be dinged up and they're just going to be exhausted. And the Astros are just going to have they're going to beat them the same way they did in 2017 and then again in 2019. And they're just going to wear them down and finally beat them because they just always seem to do that. They just always seem to come away in the end with that victory. And I think Chicago crushes Toronto. I think they sweep them. This might turn out to be something like 2005 when the White Sox went 11-1. And National League, I've got San Diego versus New York and Milwaukee facing off with Atlanta. Atlanta crushes Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee could. They're going to be. I think what that series is going to be, it'll be a sweep, but it'll be something similar to the Rockies and Brewers from 2018, where the pitching at the very start of the games is so close that the games don't get won until the 7th or 8th inning. But the Braves just have a decided advantage with their roster. So they'll end up coming away late and winning those games. And San Diego versus New York, it really kind of depends on the health of the Mets to have a chance in this one. The Padres are clearly the better team. But if New York has their full roster, I think they can put up a fight with them, especially if they can get, and they will get, DeGrom to throw again in that series. I'll have San Diego 3-2, though.
All right, championship series. I've got the White Sox beating the A's in 6, and the Padres beating the Braves in 7. Once again, the Padres are pushed to the limit, but their luck doesn't run out yet. Tatis will be series MVP, and the CS MVP for the AL will be Eloy Jimenez.
I've got Houston versus Chicago in the AL and San Diego versus Atlanta in the NL. It's close. In the NL, I think Chicago wins it in 5, maybe 6. Depends how. I mean, we all thought, I guess, Houston went down 3-0 last year, and they came fighting back. I think they were the second team ever to force Game 7 after falling behind 3-0. But Chicago's much better than the Rays were last year. So I've got Chicago going to the World Series, but I would not necessarily be surprised if Houston makes that a series. And if it goes 7, it's just a coin flip at that point. But I don't think Houston or Chicago lets it go 7. National League, San Diego, Atlanta goes 7. And San Diego has home field. They're going to finally win those first playoff games. They've never won a playoff game at Petco Park before. This is the year they do. And obviously they would have won in the first round. But I think they close it out at home 3-1. Where Atlanta can get guys on base, but they just miss that big hit. It's just that deflating feeling where they're just always pitching out of trouble. In each inning the Padres get out of, the crowd just gets louder and louder and louder until it's a crescendo in the 9th, and Atlanta just can't do anything with it. So, San Diego versus Chicago.
That's what I have as well. I've got the White Sox winning that series in 6.
So,
I got Yoan Moncada as my World Series MVP. 4 years in the making, ladies and gentlemen. I tweeted it in 2017. The Chicago White Sox of the year 2021 World Series champions. They do it with their best player, Luis Robert, not winning a series MVP throughout that. You got Eloy winning the ALCS MVP. Yoan Moncada winning World Series MVP. Lucas Giolito is their Cy Young. Andrew Vaughn is their Rookie of the Year. The White Sox are the most complete team in baseball. By the end of the season, they're going to win the World Series, the best team in baseball. Go White Sox!
I have Padres White Sox as well, but I have Padres taking it in 6. I have Padres taking it in 6. I think that the Padres have a lot of young talent mixed with a lot of veteran arms. I think it's no doubter here. And my World Series MVP is Tatis.
That's funny. Yeah. We know what's not going to happen, right? We all have the exact same World Series.
White Sox traded Tatis years ago, and Tatis makes an error in Game 7 to cost them the World Series.
Don't think so.
Trevor prediction.
Wow. That would... Man,
Maybe
you could realistically have 2 MVPs facing off in this series. You wouldn't know it at the time, but potentially Lou Bob and Tatis. Tatis was my pick. I took Trout in the AL, but I think Chicago's got a deeper team in terms of position players. San Diego's more pitching talent, but I think Chicago's offense is going to be good enough that they're going to overpower San Diego's. And I really do think that Eric Hosmer takes a big step back. He was great last year in the shortened season. I think that was a late career mirage from Hosmer, and that goes back to what 2019 looked for him. And he'll still be solid, but I think the holes in the San Diego lineup are going to start showing themselves, and Chicago's going to be able to win the World Series. I take the White Sox 6.
And to add insult to injury, Blake Snell is going to be throwing. He's going to win. He's going to be the winning pitcher of the World Series because of what happened last year.
It's bold.
And you know what, Ben? Tatis is hitting. He's going to hit the go-ahead home run to put the nail in the coffin.
All right, well, I think that just about does things. Trevor, if you could hit the music.
I can't put the music because it's going to sound terrible.
Can I put it?
Fine, I can play it. But
Fine,
the point is...
Fine,
no,
play
that's
it.
That's not the point.
The pointy nipples on Trevor Bauer's agent.
Okay. For Kaelyb Grover and Ben Vogel, I am revoking the rights of Take Me Home Country Roads after that last Ben comment. We'll see. We'll see about. We might have Kyle for our college baseball shows, but we definitely have this group of people on for him. So we can talk about who
I'll be more.
won't be
I'm
getting
more
in the.
prepared for,
We
I'm
will
more
be talking.
prepared for college baseball.
So
I'll be
I
there for college baseball probably.
Jersey Rock Ray Hardline Hour. So we'll see you next time. I don't know what the next. I think it depends if we want to do a college baseball one before our NFL draft, but that one would be with the Michigan fan that just took a fat L last night.
I'd love to do multiple college football ones. One for like just talking about players, and one where we did like an actual mock draft.
Okay. And then I want to do one during the NFL draft like we did last year. Where we basically where we talked the length of the first round. That was really fun. It was ridiculously long, but it's fun.
That's what she said.
Mark my words.
Or Dalton. Or Trevor. Or Hunter.
She doesn't know mine. She knows the others. All right. So Kaelyb.
Llama.
I'm Trevor. Mountain Llama courtesy of Jaden. We'll see y'all next time.
Country Road.